Hey there, my name's Jeff. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about PP, which is an ETF that Kevin Paffrath started. He is Meet Kevin on YouTube, and this ETF began about 1.5 years ago. There was a lot of fanfare around it, especially around people who follow his YouTube channel. And I had no idea what he was going to do or how this portfolio would perform. But now it's been running for a few years, and I think it's worth just taking a look at this ETF and deciding like what's going on here and would it make sense for an investor. This is not financial advice, but I'm very interested in ETFs and what kind of stocks they hold and what the expenses are associated with owning shares of these ETFs. So at first, this ETF had a lot of tech exposure. It owns stocks like Tesla and Nvidia and a handful of others. And I think out of the gate, it had a very hot start. But now I'm just taking a look at it. This is November of 2024. And the holdings and the year-to-date performance really make me question why people would ever invest in this ETF. I would say first off, if you invest in an ETF, you want to consider the whole stock market. That just makes sense. If you're going to go with an actively managed ETF like this one, you have to do it because you think you can beat the market. So you're basically paying Meet Kevin Paffrath, to pick stocks that in his view would perform better than the market. Otherwise, why even do it? So let's just take a look, first of all, at this year's performance year to date. We are currently on the 12th of November. I'm just looking at year-to-date performance for his ETF. So the year-to-date is 3.59%. Okay, now when we take a look here at VOO, which is just the S&P 500 ETF, which anybody can get at, it's almost free. The return of that is 26.89%, so 27%. So you're looking at being able to underperform the S&P 500 by 25%. That is a huge discrepancy. It could be really hard to come back from this. Like this ETF may never catch up with the performance of the S&P 500 after underperforming by 25% in 1 year. So let's just take a look here. Woo, it is windy. Let's just take a look here at the holdings of this ETF. The number one stock holding is Rocket Companies. The number 2 is McDonald's. Number 3 is UWM Holdings Corporation. Number 4 is iShares Gold Trust. Number 5 is Ubiquity Inc. Number 6 is Yelp, and number 7 is ProShares Short Bitcoin. So you've got there several holdings of, these are, in my view, not the kinds of companies that are going to be shaping the landscape of the US stock market. McDonald's and Yelp especially stick out at me. I'm like, why? This doesn't even make sense. I know Rocket Companies is a mortgage base or a somehow housing related stock. I'm not saying any of these stocks are good or bad. I'm just saying, wow, to be able to choose, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stocks and have them all perform as a group so horribly that you're underperforming the S&P is really quite a feat. It's almost hard to do that in this environment. What I would say, just taking a look at some of these holdings, is, for example, McDonald's, if you look at that particular stock, year to date is 1.73%, and Rocket Companies are 10.34. So those two companies right there are dragging down performance a lot, and those are two of the top stock holdings. It also looks as though this ETF holds Redfin. I didn't see that on the first list that I was reading from. Redfin is negative 3.83% this year. So what you have here is a jumble of stocks that are, I don't even see the connection between all of them. I don't know what McDonald's, Rocket, and Yelp and Redfin really have in common. And you know, I think that anyone investing in these particular stocks through this ETF are really in for, I mean, I don't even know why people would do it unless maybe they were fans of the personality and thought, hey, this is going to be a great way to make some money because he's smart and he knows what he's talking about. But I think the performance of this ETF speaks for itself. And on top of it all, the expense ratio is 0.76%. So you are paying for someone to underperform the market by a wide margin. I really have a hard time figuring out why anyone would take their money and put it into an ETF where you can severely underperform the market and pay a lot of money to do so. However, that's just me, like I said, not financial advice. Who knows how this ETF is going to perform, and I'm not telling anybody what they should do with their money on this channel, but I am interested in just sharing my views on this stuff because this is someone who's really well known through his YouTube channel, and I think there would be a instinct a lot of people would have, or a, what would we say? They would simply say, oh, this person has a lot of followers on YouTube, they have a lot of subscribers, and they're famous, so if they have an ETF, this ETF must be pretty good, right? Because why would that many people follow somebody who was not able to manage money? Because their whole channel seems based upon analysis of the stock market. But I think this is a really good example of people talking a good game, but when it comes to actually playing the game, they might not do quite as well as they say. So thanks so much for watching this. If you like the video, please click the like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. I make videos about stock investing, about ETFs, and about anything that you guys find interesting and might want to see a video about. I think being famous on YouTube and running a great investment portfolio are two entirely different things, and I hope that this video has helped to shed a little bit of light on that. So thanks so much for watching this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.